Donald Trump's presidency is remembered as a period in which not only multilateral institutions and established rules of international law were challenged, but the very meaning of peace shifted from a legal, cooperative framework to a transactional model rooted in power. While peace in its modern sense is built on respect for sovereignty, adherence to legal obligations, and sustained international cooperation, Trump's approach reduced it to an outcome derived from America's economic and military predominance, a fragile peace achieved through threats, unilateral pressure, or withdrawal from treaties. To evaluate this period, one must look at the core criteria of the Nobel Peace Prize and the foundational principles of international law: the promotion of fraternity among nations, the reduction of standing armies, and the strengthening of peaceful dialogue. Alongside just Kogan's norms such as the prohibition of the use of force, the peaceful settlement of disputes, the right of peoples to self-determination, and respect for international human rights. Yet Trump's policies frequently stood in direct opposition to these principles. Withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, threats against the WTO, leaving the WHO amid a global pandemic, dismantling arms control arrangements, disregarding international commitments, and even threatening to absorb Greenland or Canada into US territory, eroded global trust and replaced the rule of law with the rule of power. Trump repeatedly claimed that he had ended 8 wars, portraying himself as a mediator of peace in Gaza, Kashmir, or the Caucasus. But behind these quick diplomatic gestures lay a series of actions that directly contradicted the idea of positive and sustainable peace. The joint attack on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities in June 2025, conducted without UN Security Council authorization, continued military strikes in Yemen and Somalia, extraterritorial operations in the Caribbean, and major cuts to humanitarian assistance in Africa illustrated the deep gap between rhetoric and reality. Reductions in development aid and the weakening of USAID, according to independent studies, may even increase mortality rates by 2030, an outcome fundamentally incompatible with the spirit of international solidarity. Within this context, the question arises, why did the Nobel Committee decline to award Trump the 2025 Peace Prize? The answer lies in the nature of the prize itself. The Nobel Committee has always drawn a clear line between short-term ceasefires and sustainable peace. While Trump's achievements were often fragile, disputed, or lacking meaningful US contribution, his broader record combined threats, withdrawals from international institutions, and the erosion of multilateral cooperation. Additionally, Trump's open campaign to obtain the prize, including reported contacts with Norwegian officials, clashed with the committee's long-standing commitment to independence and may have produced the opposite effect. By awarding the prize to Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela, the committee reaffirmed its adherence to the original principles of the Nobel Prize: democracy, human rights, and cooperation among nations, not geopolitical bargaining or peace built on coercion. From the perspective of international law, Trump's approach shifted peace from a law-based process to a power-based transaction, a strategy that destabilized global norms and created a dangerous model for other powers. In conclusion, although the Trump administration played a role in facilitating certain ceasefires, these temporary achievements are overshadowed by repeated violations of fundamental principles of international law, withdrawal from collective frameworks, and the promotion of a peace doctrine grounded in power. Trump's policies not only weakened international trust, but also undermined the prospects for sustainable, law-based peace. The Nobel Committee's decision to overlook his candidacy ultimately reflected its commitment to the idea that genuine peace is built not through threats or unilateral dominance, but through cooperation, respect for law, and the strengthening of international institutions, principles that were more vulnerable during Trump's presidency than ever before.